Hey, what's up guys, Jaeky here. Today we're going to be checking out the A75 Ultra from DrunkDeer. Shout out to DrunkDeer for sending this out for review, but as always, that does not affect my opinion on it. DrunkDeer has been around in the Hall effect scene for a while now, and they are pretty well known. This is their newest release, the A75 Ultra. It is a 75% Hall effect keyboard. Some key features of this board is 8000 Hz polling rate, which on paper is going to be more responsive than traditional 1000 Hz polling rate keyboards. Obviously, you have rapid trigger and customizable actuation since it is a Hall effect board, and you do have a premium all aluminum chassis as well. When unboxing it, you get this little pamphlet with the keyboard shortcuts written on it. The unboxing experience is actually very nice. You first have a box here with some stickers. These are some DrunkDeer stickers that you can put wherever you'd like. You also get this very nice USB-C cable. This is a USB-C to USB-A braided cable, and it is very nice and unique with the DrunkDeer logo on there as well. Very nice, high quality cable. In the box, you also get this keycap and key switch puller 2-in-1, and you also get 2 extra switches as well, just in case one of the switches in your board breaks. Speaking of switches, the switches that come pre-installed in the A75 Ultra are their Qian switches. These are their new self-developed switches, and according to DrunkDeer, they are superior to TTC Palm. If you're curious about the switch specs, here they are on the screen. So pre-installed in the board are the blue-gray Qian switches, but DrunkDeer also sent over these red ones as well, which they will be apparently offering on their website by the end of the month. Currently they're not on there, and I also don't know how much they're going to be priced. But yeah, apparently they will be offering this red switch separately on their website. Later on during the sound test portion of the video, I do install these red switches in the board and do a side-by-side comparison. In my opinion, the sound profile on both of these is very similar, so I'm actually curious to see what the difference is between these two switches. In the box, you also get these 2 riser feet that you can put on the back of the board to increase the typing angle. By default, the board comes with some 6-degree rubber feet installed on the back, but if you want a steeper typing angle with 8 degrees, then you can plop these on. Very similar to how the Wooting ADHE does it with the different angled rubber feet. You also get some different style keycaps for the WASD, escape, and enter keys. In case you want to switch up the aesthetic for those keys on the keyboard, you can do that. And those are pretty much all of the accessories that come in the box. Under all of that is going to be the keyboard itself, as you can see here. It is packaged very nicely, as you can see, and it is extremely heavy as well. Like I said earlier, it is an all aluminum chassis, so you are getting quite a bit of heft and a really sturdy premium feeling to this board. Okay, so taking a look at the board itself, this is what the front looks like right here. You can see on the top right, there's actually a volume knob, which does all of the basic things that you would expect it to do. And it is tensioned very nicely as well. Not too stiff, but also not too light to where you would hit it accidentally. This is the back of the board here. And as you can see, you have some protective wrap on the back here that you can peel off. And that is what the bottom of the board looks like. On the top corners of the board are those pre-installed 6-degree typing angle rubber feet that you can swap out for the 8 degrees in the box. Here is the side of the board, and the USB-C port is on the top left of the board. So you can see here, this board actually has a very unique feature. This is what they call their floating suspension. And so what this is it's a 6-point micro suspension matrix, which aims to evenly distribute pressure when you type on the board. So on the bottom of the board, there's actually a little switch that you can either click in or pull out. And the difference is it changes the range of the suspension. So you either have a firmer bottom out where the suspension moves less, or you have the softer suspension where the suspension moves more. And so they advertise it as the firm bottom out for crisp instant feedback for FPS gaming, and then the softer suspension for, you know, typing and long gaming sessions. And they also yap more about the whole thing, which if you're interested, you can pause and read it. But in my opinion, the whole thing is kind of gimmicky, mainly because you don't even press down hard enough on the board most of the time to even feel the suspension. So if you're just regularly typing or even gaming, doesn't matter what game I'm playing, if I'm just playing Valorant, like a typical FPS, or if I'm playing like a MOBA, I am not pushing down hard enough to even feel the suspension activate. No matter if it's on the firm bottom out or the soft bottom out, doesn't matter. The only time you ever feel the keyboard actually moving on the desk is if you are deliberately pushing down super hard, like way harder than you would normally push if you're typing or gaming. So, I mean, it's a cool feature, but in my opinion, it is pretty much just a gimmick. In my experience, I never found myself feeling the difference between the two modes, or even feeling the suspension to begin with. Let's go over the pricing and aesthetic of the board. This board is currently priced on their website at $200 USD, and that's apparently $20 off of the original MSRP of $220. It's definitely up there in the premium price range for sure. So definitely something to keep in mind, take that how you will. As for the aesthetics, it's definitely a hate it or love it sort of situation. Obviously, this is very subjective. Some people are going to love this look and some people are just not going to vibe with it. I kind of fall into the latter category. This is definitely not my favorite look on a keyboard. I think some people will definitely vibe with it. It's a very intentional aesthetic that they chose. But for me personally, I'm not really a fan of the font used on the keycaps. Seems a little too blocky and gamer-esque, which I'm not really a fan of, but again, obviously it's all subjective. There's definitely no denying that it's a very premium feeling and well-built board, because this thing just feels like an absolute tank in the hands. All right, now let's go over a quick sound test of the board so you can get an idea of how these switches sound and just the overall sound profile. And here is the sound comparison between the blue-gray switches that come pre-installed and the red switches that DrunkDeer will be offering separately. So the blue-gray switches are going to be on ASD and the red switches on FGH. Alright, now let's go over the software and performance of this board. To start things off, this keyboard offers 3 distinct smart modes. So there's 3 different performance profiles that you can switch between. First is going to be the extreme mode, second is going to be the competitive mode, and the third is going to be the standard mode. Apparently the extreme mode is going to be the fastest with 0.2 millisecond response times. Competitive mode is somewhere in the middle, and then standard mode is just going to be your laid back mode. Honestly, I'm not really sure why you would even want this. It's not like this keyboard is a wireless board and you can switch between the profiles to save on battery life. That would make sense, but seeing that this is a wired board, I don't see why you wouldn't just leave it on extreme mode all the time. And DrunkDeer also states that they calibrate each switch at the hardware level, unlike software only fixes that other companies use. So obviously I have no way of proving or testing this. This might just be a marketing gimmick, but I'll leave it up to you to decide. They also have something that they're calling Rapid Trigger Match 2.0, which has apparently an optimized algorithm that significantly unlocks the hardware's capabilities. Basically, all you need to know is that this keyboard is very fast. And they have automatic switch calibration, so you don't have to do that manually. If you put in a new switch, apparently the keyboard just detects that and it will automatically calibrate the board. So pretty cool stuff. All right, now let's go over the software, and it is a web-based software, which is very nice. You all know that I love seeing web-based softwares, just makes it so much more convenient to customize your peripherals. On the first tab here, we can change lighting effects. You can see there's tons of different options for different lighting effects. On the second tab is going to be your main performance tab that we're going to focus on. You can add profiles as well as import different profiles, so you can share profiles with your friends. Down here is where you can set your actuation point. So you can either set it for WASD, all keys, characters, numerals, or you can click in here to do per key actuation like you can on every other Hall effect board. So you can see if I want to change the actuation for all my keys, I would just click all keys. And then on the right here, you can drag it to customize how far you want that actuation to be. You can see that we can get down to the lowest of 0.2 millimeters, which is very nice. And then the furthest actuation we can do on this switch is 3.3 millimeters. I'm just going to put this on the most sensitive for now and click save. And as you can see, it will just save to the board. Down here, we can turn on rapid trigger, and same thing as the actuation, you customize it the same way. I'm just going to put it on the most sensitive, which is 0.01. So extremely accurate. You can see here that it goes by 0.01 increments. So that is another benefit of the A75 Ultra. Since they're using a second gen Hall effect chip, they can achieve this 0.01 millimeter detection. Apparently it's sensitive down to 1/10 the thickness of a human hair, which is kind of insane. So I'm just going to put this on the most sensitive for now. You also have a release dual trigger here, which you can turn on, and a last win. This is similar to SOCD or Razer's Snap Tap. So it's nice to see that this board supports that feature. You actually can't use this in Counter-Strike anymore because Valve actually banned this. So if you use this in Counter-Strike, it actually just kicks you from the lobby. But you can still use this in games like Overwatch and Valorant, even though in Valorant it's not that useful. Down here, you have Rapid Trigger Match, which apparently the system learns the user's button operation pattern, optimizes in real time, and dynamically adjusts to the most suitable RT sensitivity, ensuring that every press is precise and accurate. So I don't know, that sounds pretty good, so I'm just going to leave it on. Down here you have Turbo Mode, which sounds very similar to Tachyon Mode from booting. This will disable RGB effects, so you can only have static lighting, and apparently the keystroke tracking feature will be disabled. So if you want the most responsive keyboard, then turn this on. But yeah, that's pretty much all you can do right now in the performance tab. Very basic stuff. You can just set up your rapid trigger, your actuation, turn on a bunch of different settings here. Let's go over to the remap, and here you can just change different bindings on the board. It doesn't seem like there's actually a way to make macros right now, so hopefully that's something they add to the software in the future for those of you who like making macros. Currently that doesn't seem like it's possible, but yeah, here you can just rebind keys, and then you can also change the different function layers. If you want the function layers to do different things, you can do that here as well. So yeah, very, very basic software right now, but for now it does all of the basics. All right guys, moving on to the performance test using the notepad test, which is where I just open up a notepad and feather the key. It seems like it's working as intended. I'm just feathering the key here. Again, I set it to the lowest actuation and like just barely touching my keyboard as you would expect, and then just letting go of the key ever so slightly stops the input. So seems like it works very well, just like every other Hall effect keyboard. So yeah, really nothing to complain about on the performance side. And if you take all of their marketing claims to heart, then apparently this keyboard is top of the line in terms of performance and response time. So that's great. And that's pretty much it, guys. That is the A75 Ultra from DrunkDeer. If you guys want to check it out, I will leave a link to it in the description below. And you can also use my affiliate link and code to get $10 off of your purchase. Not sponsored, but it does help support the channel. But that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.